Everyone, welcome to our Bible quest using Classcraft quest feature. So the objective of creating this game was to have a game that actually uses a video game-like feature to teach text within the game itself, not as an assessment to a text that has already been read, but to actually have the acquisition period, the actual learning of the text within the game. So I'm going to be showing you the student's view. Here I am, Jane Doe. This is my avatar that I created. This is my team's emblem. You can see here all the point features and powers. We're not going to get into that right now, but Classcraft has a lot of options here to gamify the learning. But what we want to focus on in this little tutorial is the actual game itself and show you how we used it to create different activities within the text as part of the actual game narrative. So I'm going to click here on the little map icon that's going to take us to the map of the quest. Our story is the Battle of Jericho from the book of Joshua. We're going to click here. And right away, I get the narrative of the game, not the actual biblical text. And it creates the quest, it sets the setting, what is the goal of this mission. So basically, the biblical story has two spies, and our students are becoming additional spy, the third spy, if you will. Each one is becoming an additional spy, and they're joining in on that mission to prepare for the Battle of Jericho. So you can see it really enables us to include pictures here, images, and what I did when creating this was anything that was from the biblical text appears on parchment so that there is a distinction between the game narrative and the biblical narrative. So just to give you a feel of how something like this would work in terms of creating a quest narrative, you have been chosen to accompany the two spies on the secret mission. Your quest is to recover 3 objects vital to the nation's success. Without them, the people of Israel cannot win the Battle of Jericho and settle the land. So we have the scarlet cord, the golden ram's horn, and the stone of the 12. The scarlet cord actually appears in the narrative of Joshua, but the other 2 objects are objects that I made up, and I incorporated them into the game narrative in order to create a connection with the biblical narrative. So the student now knows what the goal is, and we're setting them on the mission. You may now proceed to destination unknown. The success and fate of your people are in your hands. Be swift, be brave, be wise, and have faith that you will succeed on your journey. Godspeed. So as you can see, the game narrative itself also kind of gives it like a biblical feel there with part of the lingo connecting us to more ancient text. And the student was given an instruction to go to destination unknown on the map. So we're going to just click here on Start Quest. And you can see that this is our map. We did initiation of the third spy, and we're going to destination unknown. But the rest of the pathway of the quest is actually concealed. Mysterious feel here with the fog, but I'm clicking on destination unknown. So here again, we're continuing with the narrative of the game and not in the biblical narrative. Together with the 2 spies, you must decide where to go in Jericho in order to obtain crucial information about the city, their army, their strategy, and any other detail that can give your people any advantage to win the battle. Be careful not to arouse suspicion and reveal who you are. We're going to continue, and we're going to be giving a task, where to go in Jericho. So here the students have 3 options, and they have to pick where to go to obtain information on Jericho. Now, the idea here is to elicit a discussion between the students. What would be the logical destination for spies to go to? They don't know the answer yet in the biblical text, but we want to have them discuss, actually think, it's kind of critical thinking here. Where should we go as spies in order to obtain information? So we've got the market, we've got an inn, and the king's court. So basically, we want them to rule out the king's court because that could arouse suspicion. There are plenty of soldiers around there who might notice them. And we're going to go into the discussion board, and here we're going to have, you can see, Ethan Kassir wrote, I'm cool with going to the market. Philip wrote, market would be best, more options to gather valuable information. Market is a good place to start. There'll be many locals there. We can overhear the talk of the town. Okay, so we're going to just add in our idea. All right, so we're going to say, yep, let's go shopping. And we're sending it. Okay, We joined the discussion. Here you go. You can see we're Jane Doe over here. So after we finish posting our thoughts on the discussion, we're going to go back to the task, click on Task Complete. And as you can see, we had our two options that were logical appear on the map. Now we decided to go to Jericho Market. So here we are. We're going to click on Jericho Market. The smells, sounds, and sights of foods and goods being traded at the market are both exciting and overwhelming, but you must remain focused. As you pass by booths between the merchants and buyers, you suspect you are being watched. So here you see we've got the game narrative building up tension. We're going to continue. The scarlet cord. As you try to lose the guards in the crowd, you spot a booth with fine fabrics and tapestries, and hanging among them, a scarlet cord. You remember that this is essential to your mission. Before fleeing the market, you must obtain the scarlet cord. In order to do so, read the verse that reveals your desired destination in Jericho and circle the answer in red. This will magically transport the scarlet cord to you. You must then hurry to the destination on the map. So now you see how we've included the biblical text from Joshua. It's going to reveal where the students must actually go. So they click and receive a document where they can circle the answer on the actual verse. And the answer is they have to go to Rahab's house. They can submit their assignment to the teacher. They can upload the document. They can also write it here to the teacher. So my assignment was to say where they need to go. Need to go to Rahab's Inn and submit. I do want to submit. Students only get one chance to submit. This isn't so great, but we're going to do that. Submit. So now we finish with Jericho's Market. We're going to Rahab's Inn and Diner. Rahab's Inn and Diner seems like a good spot with both locals and travelers coming and going and chatting, making it easy to blend in with other visitors and pick up valuable information if everything goes according to plan. So again, the game narrative kind of creates that tension. We're going to continue and find out what our next task is. The saving of Rahab, the scarlet cord. So we've got the scarlet cord that we retrieved at the market. The players, students now have to read what happens when the spies arrive at Rahab's Inn and Diner. What does Rahab do and why? They have to highlight this on the attached document here, which they just click on, get it as a PDF, and they can highlight their answer and then submit it. And they also have to answer the following questions. They have to send a letter to Joshua with their trusted hawk Zeke, recounting the events that transpired and what important information can be learned from Rahab's speech regarding the people of Jericho and the upcoming battle. This activity is basic reading comprehension, but we're creating it within the game narrative, right? We've got this hawk taking the letter to the leader Joshua. And the second task that they have, the sages suggest Rahab and Joshua wed after the Battle of Jericho. Discuss Rahab's character and why you think the sages proposed this idea. So here there's a higher level of thinking. They have to analyze Rahab's character and bring examples from the text and then post it, hand it in to the teacher. When you've completed your task, make your way to Golden Ram Mountain. So again, we're telling the students exactly where they're going to be going on the map. So here students would be handing in their assignment. They can upload the document on which they highlighted the verses with the answers to the question what we got from the encounter with Rahab. And on the discussion board, they can write what they think about Rahab's character. So we're going to write, she has faith in the Lord. Okay, we're going to send that. And in the assignment, we're just going to write something quick here so that we can move on to the next task. All right, we're going to submit that. And yeah, we're submitting. And our next destination has been revealed to us on the map, the Golden Ram Mountains. So at the end of the biblical text that the students worked on, they discover that Rahab tells the spies to go and hide in the mountains for 3 days before they can return to Joshua and the Israelites because they are being pursued by the king's guards. The spies are contemplating how they will penetrate the Great Wall of Jericho, and then all of a sudden within the rocks they discover the golden ram's horn. What is our task? Within the golden ram's horn is rolled up a scroll. It reveals how the Israelites are to penetrate the wall of Jericho. So we're continuing with the biblical narrative, answering that question of how are they supposed to win in the war, penetrate the wall. However, in order to activate the magical powers of the golden ram's horn and succeed, you must discover the magic number on the scroll and answer the questions below. So again, we have the biblical text, a task on this biblical text, which has to be answered so that the students can continue on the quest and reveal their next destination. And then they have to answer questions about the text. What is the magical number of the story of the Battle of Jericho? What other biblical story has this number in it? What is the symbolism of this number in the story? What in these verses signifies that God is fighting for the people of Israel? So these are, again, these are higher order thinking questions. And if students don't know the answer, for example, what other biblical story has this number in it? Well, it's easy to discover the number in the text because it is the key word in the text. The number is 7. It appears several times in the text. Once they discover it, they can go and Google biblical stories with the number 7, and they will discover that the story of creation obviously was 7 days. And this is a way of showing that God will bring victory to the people of Israel, just as God created the world in 7 days. So here again, biblical text intertwined within the game narrative and bringing reading comprehension and writing prompts to show comprehension as well as higher order thinking. And we are going to our last destination on the map, our last part of our quest, Unity Rock. Your mission is almost complete, but before you can return to Joshua and the nation, you must locate the Rock of the 12. Unity Rock is filled with rocks of different shapes and sizes. How will you discover which is the Rock of the 12? In order to reveal the Rock of the 12, you must present in any way you deem fit. So here we're moving on now into a creative presentation. The students can do a video, they can just write it, and they have to work in collaboration with fellow spies, and they have to write 12 virtues learned from this quest. So this is really a nice summative assessment where they have to think about the entire quest, all the texts that they learned, the people they encountered, and the tasks they completed, and the intertwined stories. You must justify why you have chosen these virtues. So it's not enough to just write bravery or faith. They have to say faith, just as Rahab had faith in the Lord. So the people of Israel have to have faith. And once you've completed this task, the Rock of the 12 shall appear before your eyes. You must take this rock with you on your journey back to Joshua and the nation. And as you cross over the Jordan River, cast the rock into the river's waters. The rock will then transform into 12 rocks, each one containing a different virtue of the 12 virtues you have chosen. When the nation will cross over the Jordan River to enter the land, each one of the 12 tribes of Israel will pick one of these rocks, and it shall become the primary virtue of that tribe. Then all 12 rocks will be brought together to transform a rock of unity. For it is only when we come together as one that we truly succeed. So choose your virtues wisely, for they are the powers and strengths to be bestowed unto the nation. Godspeed and peace be unto you. So here they have an additional text from the book of Joshua, which describes how the people of Israel crossed over the Jordan River to go into the land. So you really have here a nice intertwining of a game narrative, you know, that whole concept of they found the Rock of the 12, and that rock is cast into the waters, becomes 12 rocks, because in the story of Joshua in the Bible, they have to pick up a rock for each tribe and to signify each tribe, and all those tribes coming together, working together to win the battle and the conquest of the land. And it's nice that it ends with that, and they are there to this day, giving that student player / spy warrior the feeling that they contributed to something significant by taking part of this quest and helping the people of Israel on their mission into the land. So now you can see the whole quest map is revealed, and students can see what they accomplished. And we hope that we accomplished giving you an example of how a very text-based subject can become a quest. It can become a game-like experience without compromising on learning the text. So level up, gamify your class, or rather, questify your class.